Finding geospatial files and data is kind of like an Easter egg hunt. The really good news is it's getting easier all the time. Many states and the federal government have created central websites where you can easily obtain all kinds of geospatial data for free. For this demonstration, I'll show you how to get maps and imagery from the California Geospatial Clearinghouse. This is a great and easy to use central location for almost anything you'll need. In Chapter 3 of Using GIS for Wildland SAR, Table 3-2 has many other good sources for data, so be sure to take a look at that as well. The site's main portal is here, portal.gis.ca.gov. I've included a link to this in the GIS resources sheet that I sent each student. It's also on the Blackboard site for this class in the resources folder. The main portal is kind of cool, and you'll probably want to explore it a bit. However, I'm just going to go directly to the Cal Atlas download page, where the base data is located. Here, you'll browse to atlas.ca.gov/download, where you'll see a fairly familiar folder structure with names indicating what's in that folder. Again, you'll want to explore a bit and become familiar with it. Our primary interest will be in the Imagery, Base Maps, and Land Cover folder. Open this and note each of those subjects with its own folder. For future reference, note that you can also download the GNIS Dataset in this folder. This is the Geographic Names Information System and has the place names for most every peak, place, meadow, lake, etc. in the U.S. But right now we're just going to look at base maps. So go to the base map folder and we'll explore how then to download a basic USGS digital map. You may remember from an earlier video that one of the file types is a DRG or digital raster graphic. This folder has all the topographic maps of California in a number of different scales. The standard for most recreation and emergency services map is the 24K or 7.5 minute quad. You'll notice that you can choose trimmed, which means they've been cut at the edges to show only the actual map, untrimmed, which shows the border and the same information as you'd see on a paper USGS quad, and mosaic, which assembles adjoining 24K maps into one file. So this might be another way of getting a group of the maps you need into one file. For this demonstration, we'll look at the individual 7.5 minute trimmed maps. Note that they give the datum as NAD 83, which is North American Datum 1983. So we open that folder and are presented with a list of numbers for each area. Open one of those to show the actual maps. And note that each map is composed of two files, an AUX extension and a TIF extension. You'll need to download both for a working digital map. And your first task then is to figure out what those numbers mean. For that, you've got to go back to the DRG directory and then to the index. And down here to the index. And we're going to want, for this demonstration, we'll again want to look at the 24K or 7.5 minute maps. So that means we'll want to download DRG 24. And note that it's composed of a number of separate files. And again, you'll need to download all of them for the index to be read by Arcgis. So our first step is to download the index files, which tell you what map quad corresponds to the numbers you see. First we'll download the index file set, DRG24. On your web browser, just click on each file and it will download to your download directory. And note that it's downloading here. Make sure you get all of the files. Now, this particular file is called a shapefile. When viewed in either ArcGIS or Arcgis Explorer, those three files show as one, and that will be the index file you'll use to locate individual quads and then download them. There's another, and I think better way to download multiple files. That's using an FTP client. FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol and allows for a little more flexibility in downloading files than a web browser, even when in FTP mode. With an FTP client, you can highlight and download multiple files at once, and you can also specify the directory you want them to go to. Free and easy to use FTP client is FileZilla. This is on your GIS resources document list. Just type filezilla-project.org. Then click on Download FileZilla Client and install it on your computer. Click to start the program, and you'll come up with the FileZilla interface, which gives you two windows to work from. On your left, that'll be your local files, and on your right will be the files of the server you're connected to. So we'll want to type in to the host atlas.ca.gov, and that connects us to the same Cal Atlas directory that we were just at. Double click on CASIL, and now scroll down to Imagery, Base Maps, Land Cover, then to Base Maps, then to DRG, and then to Index. And now we're going to want to download all of the DRG24 files. So click and hold down the Control key to highlight all of them. And then on your left is your GIS data folder, which we set up in an earlier exercise. And go to Base Data, and then Topo Maps, and then just drag them all into there, and your download will start. And notice down here at the bottom, you can see the progress of the file transfers. So depending on your speed, it'll take anywhere from a minute or two to maybe 5 minutes if you're running at a very slow speed. In the next video, we'll use Arcgis Explorer to find the exact maps we need for our area. If you haven't already installed that on your computer, be sure to read either Installing Arcgis Explorer Desktop in Chapter 5 of Using GIS for Wildland Search and Rescue, or the introductory video in this tutorial. For those of you who are taking ArcGIS, creating a basic map, you'll want to have installed ArcGIS 10. See the introductory video for that class for further help. Everyone enrolled in this class will receive an Arc 10 CD and a 60-day license. You can also download a trial version from esri.com.